none of you guys really even listen to the garbage that goes before games, so why do we even bother? Keeping it short, this is a 4th gen match versus Scott, Penobi, TheAcousticKind. Let's go. I've got a Medicham lead off, and he's got a Shiftry lead off, so I'm Scarfed. I can take him out with a high jump kick, but I figure keeping him in the mindset that I'm not Scarfed the entire game is going to be more beneficial, and that's kind of the idea of that guy anyway. I fake out, and being Scarfed on fake out is not ideal, so I switched to Flareon because Shiftrys typically like to boost up, and then this way I'll at least resist his Grass Stab. However, he went for Sucker Punch, which puts me in the mindset that I have to keep Medicham at a very high HP to be able to take one of those in order to take it out. I went for Wish on his switch after he switches out for Sucker Punch, and I decided to superpower his Ampharos because I kind of want to gauge what kind of variant this guy will be. I get a crit and does about 75 to 80%, so I'm thinking he's a more defensive set because this Flareon does have a fair amount of HP, being 130 base, which is nuts. If only got Flare Bits, eh? Static activates, and I don't think that after my -1 superpower drop, that a second superpower will take it out, so I decided to just heal Bell off, and he switched anyways, which is pretty sweet, and crap, it's a Poliwrath, so Poliwrath is a complete troll to my team. My team is very Poliwrath weak, and my team doesn't like fighting Poliwraths, so however, I do have a few options, but all of them are pretty much suicide options. I go to Minin now because it's pretty much like my best option to go to. It's kind of like a joke to have here in the first place. He's going to focus punch me down to my Sash as I break his sub because I knew he would sub. They all have sub. Some of them just have bulk up as well. So I'm on my Sash, and another T-Bolt would do a ton of damage to him, so I don't expect him to stay in. I don't know what he's going to go to. I'm just going to go for T-Bolt because I figured it would hit the hardest, whatever comes in. And here, this second turn, I go for Hidden Power Rock. I didn't know how heavy Ampharos was, and to be honest, I didn't even know what Hidden Power was. It could have been Ground because I have like a ton of minions with different hidden powers. It turns out it's Rock, and it doesn't quite KO. It doesn't matter because T-Bolt is like 1.25 base power higher after Stab and Resistance, so I don't think that made any kind of difference. I just got I got a lower damage variation there, so it just looks worse than it really is. I go to Regirock as he rests up, and honestly I didn't think he'd have rest. I thought I could just 2-hit KO him from there anyway. So that really stinks. He's got Sleep Talk, Sheet Talk, Sleep Talker, and Discharge does a fair amount, probably around a quarter after 2 turns of lefties, and or before 2 turns of lefties, and he's going to switch out because he realizes he's doing peanuts to me, and on the switch, I could have either T-Waved or set up rocks, neither of which is very effective against Sandslash because he's immune to T-Wave, and he's going to spin rocks away. I set up rocks on the second turn just to see what he kind of wants to do, because I know he can't really hurt me too badly either. And on the second turn, I figure he's probably going to set up rocks. Even if he EQs or rapid spins and kills me, it's not a big deal, because then I get a free switch to Sharpedo, which it's always nice to have a free switch into Sharpedo. I decided to go for Nasty Plot on the switch, and at this point, I realized that Ampharos is actually fairly heavy, so Grass Knot's going to be 80 base power, so more than, it might have actually been enough to KO it the first time around, which really, really stinks in my mind, but, I'm just going to assume that I wouldn't have KO'd anyway and move right along. 2 plus 2 Grass Knots do half to this Ampharos, so this thing is bulky as all hell, and I don't really want to deal with it anymore, so after he wakes up and kills me with Discharge, I'm going to go right into Sharpedo and take it out. It's an all-physical Sharpedo, and I don't even think that a special move would be able to kill the Ampharos, to be honest, because it's that bulky, it looks like. So I went for Waterfall. It should be able to take it out, and I've just got to hope that that Static doesn't activate. So now I'm thinking he's probably going to go to Poliwrath and maybe set up subs, and you've got to be freaking kidding me. He gets Static, so that was very frustrating. I was very frustrated by that and very upset, because now he can go to Poliwrath. Sharpedo is no longer a counter to it because I could sit here and crunch him all day. He's eventually going to get a sub to stay up as I get Parahaxed, and that is not good. So I go to Medicham right now because I figure it's probably my next best bet. I probably should have gone to Porygon 2 because it does have a Troll Berry, so I can take a 1 Focus Punch from it, and I will be able to trace his Water Absorb, and that's always nice. So, however, I decided that going to Medicham would be better. I can probably deal with Shiftry with, not Porygon, but with Sharpedo anyway, because he'll resist Sucker Punch and be faster. And it has Ice Fang, so that's cool. He doesn't want to stick around with Poliwrath for another high jump kick, so he goes into Sandslash. I go for it, and after Stealth Rocks, that kind of looks like it might be a 2-hit KO. I gotta hope that that was min damage, and I gotta go for a second one because nothing else really wants to take an Earthquake, or at 2 Earthquakes anyway. I could have went to Porygon 2, probably should have gone to Porygon 2 again, but it doesn't pack that much bulk. It's more offensive because it has to take out things after it eats its Chople Berry, and that really stinks. So now I'm going to bring it in, and I go for Toxic, because I honestly expect it to be slower, because I think Sandslash is actually 5 base speed higher, if not a speed tie. So something wonky's going on there. Maybe I put more speed EVs than I thought into this guy. I don't know. And he's able to spin away our rocks, which turns out to be huge in coming up. I go for another Toxic, because I'm still expecting him to switch out at some point. And even if he does Earthquake, I recover, and then it's like nothing ever happened. So he's actually going to opt to save his Sandslash at this point. Expecting me to go for another Toxic. He's going to switch into a Poison type in Venomoth, so that's cool. You can have that, bro. I'm going to recover. I don't want to take a Bug Buzz. I don't want to get put to sleep, because this is my last remaining counter to his Poliwrath, so I got to go to Flareon. I'm expecting him to sleep me, but he actually goes for Bug Buzz, and ouch, 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 it kills. It does about half after Stealth Rocks, so I gotta protect this turn and hope that I can earn up enough lefties. That looks like he's Specs. He might be Specs or Scarf or something. Definitely offensive at the very least. So, because this is a very bulky Flareon. So, my options are Wish and then switch into, what's his name? Regirock, and then go for either Stealth Rocks or Stone Edge or something. But I don't really want to do that, because then Sharpedo's still paralyzed and Vaporeon doesn't get another switch in. At the end of the day, I figured Heal Belling off that paralysis is going to be a bigger deal, or more beneficial. So I let Flareon die, and now I'm going to go right into Regirock, because I kind of want to T-Wave this thing if he's going to be offensive, and that would be very beneficial naturally. So I'm going to go for that T-Wave, and then on the next turn, oh, I barely lived. That thing hits like a truck, honestly. On the next turn, I could either set up Stealth Rocks, which is the right play, or I could rest. I figured going for rest would be, at the time, I figured it would be more beneficial in the sense that he can just spin my rocks away if I go for them. In this way, he's going to have to kill my Regirock the hard way. And I didn't think he could 3-hit KO with Poliwrath, which comes in again. So now I got to deal with it again. I got to go to my last remaining counter. If it gets a free switch in anyways. So I've let it get in 3 times for free, which is not very good considering how weak my team is to it. So he's going to sub up again, go for that focus punch that he wants to go for. I'm going to hit him with Psychic just to break his sub. And that's not very good, because now I'm stuck on Psychic. I can't risk him subbing up again as I go for Toxic or something. So he's going to be able to go into Shift Tree on the next turn, and then I don't know what he wants to do. I was thinking maybe he'd boost up a little bit. Maybe he'd Sucker Punch again. Christ if I know. However, he decides that he wants to blow up, which I really should have predicted. I really should have known. I didn't think that he'd actually go for it. I didn't think he'd actually pack it. Turns out he does pack it, and it's obviously going to be enough to take me out. If I'd seen it coming, I could have gone into Regirock and saved my P2, but then again, P2 doesn't really counter anything. So, however, that does give me a free switch into Sharpedo, and here I'm going to go for Crunch, because going for Waterfall would be stupid in case he goes into Poliwrath. So there was a small chance that I could KO him if I got absolute max damage. If he is the choice set, that is. That's assuming he's running 0 HP, so it's Scott. He's probably running a little bit of HP in defense and special defense, so I'm not able to take it out. I did get a D drop, but that's really great, because I'm going to hit him with Stone Edge. And that's pretty much going to be the game. This Regirock can't touch his Poliwrath, so just thinking about that, it's going to be dumb. So, like, Stone Edge is going to do less than a sub, so he's got me there. It would have been interesting to see what happened if I did manage to take it out, or if I had my rocks up like I should have had, because then I would have taken it out, this Venomoth that is. Crunch could probably KO a substitute on a Poliwrath, maybe, probably, hopefully, and then maybe 2-hit KO. He can probably get 2 waterfalls off and probably kill me, actually, and then, but then in that case, Regirock can come in and probably KO Stone Edge, and then I don't know, it's definitely a big mess. It depends on what his 6th is, which I don't think we saw, because Sandslash was pretty much dead on arrival, so that's going to be the game. I got a crit Stone Edge on one of his subs, and then I missed, and then he Focus Punched, so Good game, Scott. I'm going to get you one of these times. I think I've beaten you like once, and that was an OU match, which you said you were going to lose anyway. I don't know what it is, but you're just like inside my head all the time, which is not very pleasant to tell you the truth. But I'll get you one of these times. One of these days.